Welcome to A1R Psychic Radio here on Moonstruck TV. My name's Amanda Hall, psychic all the way from the Gold Coast. It's a beautiful overcast crisp morning here this morning. We've had a little bit of warm weather. We're heading into sort of our cooler months of the year here in Australia. So I hope wherever you are in this amazing planet of ours, you're staying strong, you're staying healthy, and most importantly, you're staying home. And I think that's the big message around the world, isn't it? We all must stay home. So let's kick the show off with the Secrets of Tarot card of the week, which is the Hanged Man. Now, this is the card of getting stronger in oneself. Isn't that quite apt for all of us at the moment? After a lot of deliberating and delaying, we're finally on the right track. Now, I think that this is a very ambiguous sort of card, but also an extremely positive card at the moment, because everybody is getting stronger in oneself. We've all had plenty of time to spend with ourselves in the last few days or the last few weeks, depending on what part of the world you're in. So you really have had to confront your own demons, look at where you're going, what you want out of life. And out the other side, I think we are going to come out of this a lot stronger. And I'm looking at this as the whole world's been deliberating and delaying, trying to find what's the best approach to the COVID-19 virus. And I think now finally we're starting to see some sort of common sense and some sort of clear directive around the world on how we need to tackle this as a globe, not just as an individual country or nation or state. I think we need to tackle this as a worldwide sort of situation. So that leads me on to very quickly, I want to talk about astrologically what's happening this week. And I don't want to spend too much time on it astrologically this week because I want to get down to some tips for how to handle yourself in this COVID-19 crisis. So astrologically, the two things I want to talk about is Jupiter, the planet of opportunity and expansion, which to me represents the globe as a whole, is actually holding hands with Pluto. Now, I've spoken about this many, many times on the show. Pluto's role in Capricorn, he's been there since 2008, will be there till 2022, is to completely transform the planet. Now, with it being in Capricorn, I feel now we have collectively as a globe the opportunity to completely transform our world. And I mean that as a complete world. We have the ability to rethink the way that we do day-to-day business. We can all act together as one. And it's a time now that collectively I think the world can join hands and beat this virus. I think that's really important. The other major shift in the last 7 days has been the planet of Mars. Now, Mars in astrological terms is the planet of action, or the planet that we look for guidance if we're going to go into a battle or go into a war on something. Now, he's now actually holding hands with Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn's only just moved into Aquarius, and when planets sort of just change signs, they're usually at their very most powerful. It's when we see some amazing breakthroughs. And because it's in Aquarius, I'm actually hoping we're going to see collectively the battle sort of really ramp up now to sort of combat this COVID-19. I think people are going to now starting to tell the truth and share their figures really around the world. And somebody's tickling my ear, I apologise, to see what is actually sort of happening and how we can best beat this situation. Now, I want to quickly move on to our candle of the week, which is the Sun card. And I've chosen this on purpose because I think we all need to bring some more sunshine and some light into our eyes. Now, if we were to do a gift box set, I've made up a gift box set of some rather different ones. I thought we'd do something really different this week, and I've done dreams, manifest, and the fire sign candle because we're in the Aries time of the year. I think it's a time when we can all set our dreams into motion. We can manifest the reality or the opportunities that we want moving forward in our lives. And I think it's time now that we can actually go towards what we really want in our lives. And I think that that's really important. I think we need to set some dreams now. We need to start manifesting what you want. So it's a good time now to really sort of set towards in motion the things that we want to do. So if you were working with candles, can I suggest you don't necessarily have to have mine, any candle you've got in the house, write down 3 things that you want to bring into your life. And don't just focus on your health, but 3 new things that you'd like to bring into your life. And maybe there's 3 things that you want to let go. And burn these candles for at least 10 minutes to 2 hours a day. And really focus on what it is that you're trying to bring into your life. It's a perfect time to use this as part of your meditation or sort of reorganizing your life or revamping your life. Now, before I go on to my tips and tricks to get you through the COVID-19 virus, I just want to have a special shout out to one of the world's most famous sitcom mums, Shirley Jones from the Partridge Family. It's actually her birthday. So happy birthday, Shirley, if you're watching. You know I'm a huge fan. And I think that we can all take a leaf out of Shirley's book and say, come on, let's get happy. I think that should be our theme song for the week. So my tips and tricks to get you through the COVID-19 virus are this. First and foremost, I think the most important thing you've got to do is relax and reconnect with yourself. This is the perfect time to get to know who you are as a person and to sort of spend some time each and every day sort of contemplating your navel and just sort of wondering who you are and how you got to be here and what's been going on in your life, and, just let your mind be still. I think the second most important thing is that we need to set a schedule. We need to get a plan of attack for the day. If we were getting up, going to work and going about our business, our day is segmented into time slots of things that we do at certain times of the day every day. And we're all comfortable beings with having a routine. So I think now more than any other time, I think we need to get a routine. And for some of you, that might be difficult because you're getting out of bed at a different time of the day, all those sort of things, but that's okay. We can be flexible with the routine. If you're getting up at 8 o'clock and you normally got up at 6, well, then just adjust your thinking to that. You get up, you're having a cup of coffee, you're having breakfast, and don't forget to schedule in things like spending some time with yourself, some exercise. I'm limiting my television watching on the virus to a maximum of 1.5 hours a day. And the reasons why I'm doing that is, yes, we all need to catch up with the latest things that are going on in your local environment and see what's changed in the last 24 hours and what the new rules and regulations are. But above that point, I do that morning and night. I catch up with it in the morning and in the night. Past that point, I try and focus on other more positive things, because I think we can become sort of almost spellbound of watching one news broadcast after another and flicking channels onto something else, that we either, one, become desensitized or we become overloaded with so much information that we absorb absolutely nothing. The last thing that we need to be doing now is making ourselves feel negative, overwhelmed and stressed. We need to try and find a positive way around this. On another positive note, we've moved into the Aries time of the year, which is the astrological new year. So it's the perfect time to sit down and look at our New Year's resolutions for the astrology year. So they may be very different to what you set down in January because the world's a different place now, but why not revisit them? It's the perfect time to look at our budget, look at how we used to spend money and what we're not spending as much money on now. And I know for the ladies out there, they're starting to say, my heavens, my hair's looking dreadful. I haven't got any fingernails. I'm running out of makeup. But look, I think we can all make the best of a bad situation, whether we all go back to having natural coloured hair. I'm fortunate mine is natural, but for me it's sort of no curls and, I have very straight, very fine hair. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to have to get creative, as a lot of other people are going to have to do with their appearance. But I think this is a time when we can reset those goals to it. What's the most important thing with us? And I think the most important thing to come out of this virus is collectively, I think we can all reconnect with family, friends and loved ones. We've all lost the art of good, solid communication. I don't mean social media and I don't mean text messages and emails. I mean actually pick up a phone and have a chat with someone. I've set a goal of trying to make 3 phone calls a day to family and friends. They don't necessarily have to be long calls, but just to ring and say, how are you? Hope you're well. How are you handling it? And sort of then maybe, change the subject to what sort of music have you been listening to? What have you been watching on Netflix or Foxtel or your pay TV subscription? And sort of have a chat about things and really ask them how they are, because it's surprising by doing things like that you're not only brightening your spirits, but you're also brightening their day. And one of the other things that I've been trying to do is connect with as many of people that I can on social media and send them a bunch of flowers or a smiley face or a virtual hug or whatever. And for some people, that's the only contact that they're getting in a day. So I think it's really important. But I think we also need to take some time for ourselves. Now, whether that's spending some time in the garden, whether it's sort of saying to yourself, okay, I've got a list of chores that I want to do and I'm going to put them on a list and I'm going to cross them off as I achieve them. But I think one of the most important things we can do is just chill and allow our bodies to catch up on the such feveright sort of pace that we live most of the time. Make sure you're getting some extra rest. It's not against the law to sit down and watch a movie or to allow your body to rest. I think that's the important thing. We talk about immune systems quite a lot. And I think for most people, we tend to think of our immune system as popping some vitamins or whatever. Yes, look, I'm not saying that those things aren't important, but one of the most important things for our immune system is our own emotional well-being and making sure that our bodies are not exhausted. And that's really important. And I think these are the things that we all need to start sort of looking at. I'm a firm believer in putting good nutrition into your body. And I think that that's a really important thing for each and every one of us. I'm a juicing type person, and I believe in fresh fruit and vegetables and things like that. And I think that's important. But there's lots of people out there that have ailments and illnesses and things like that that dictate what they can and can't put into their bodies or how much exercise they can get. But I think if we all adjust things to what we know that works for us and listen to your body. Look, I know it's very easy in these tough times to sort of turn around and give our body some comfort food to reach for the sweeties or something salty. And I'm not saying don't allow yourself a little bit of that, but what I'm saying, why don't you reach for a piece of fruit first or a carrot stick or something and then sort of say, okay, I've been good, then I can have a little treat. I don't think it's the time where we sort of say, no, you can't do that. I think it's a matter of everything in balance and adjusting our lives accordingly. And I think the most important thing is understanding that it's okay to be frightened, that it's okay to listen to your emotions and sort of say, well, I really am nervous about this. I really am frightened and I'm not the only one in the world. But also be mindful that there's a lot of other people out there that are doing it a lot tougher than you are. There's people that actually have family members that are seriously ill in a hospital, and the furthest thing on their mind is how they're going to pay this month's bills. They're more concerned about, making sure that their family is well and safe and happy and might come out the other side of their illnesses. So I think we need to spare a thought for that sort of thing. And I think if you're one of the millions of people around the world that participates in social media every day, then let's keep it bright and positive. Let's not be so maudlin. Yes, we do need to be aware of the things that are going on in our local environment. I can't stress that enough, to follow what the authorities are telling you. If they're telling you to stay home, that means stay home. It doesn't mean go out to the shops to entertain yourself. It means stay home. But I think we can also fill social media full of positive things, uplifting music, some funny jokes, some funny pictures. If you're creative, make a nice poster, share it with everybody else. So it's sort of, it's the time to sort of try and keep everybody's spirits as uplifted. And I know for me personally, it's been a very, very busy time where people around the world are concerned about what to do, what not to do. Am I going to get the virus? I mean, I don't have an answer to that. I mean, it's probably been the number one message I've had from people. What will happen if I get it? Well, I think don't dwell on the fact of getting COVID-19. Let's dwell on the fact of keeping yourself as healthy and as well adjusted and listening to your body as possible, and minimize the fact of attracting it to you, because the laws of attraction work in the same way. If you're so focused on this virus and the fear of getting it, then you've got more chance of catching it because you've talked yourself into getting it. So that's what I'm saying. Let's just have some positive thoughts going out there. Look after yourself the best way you can. Make sure that you get into a good routine, some rest, some relaxation, some good music, some TV, some exercise, some time outside if you're allowed to do that. And don't forget to reconnect with family and friends. I think that's the most important thing. And know that you're not the only one. There's all of us around the world in the same situation. We're all home self-isolating. We're all trying to keep ourselves entertained. So let's do this together. We're going to talk to Keith in St. Cloud in Minnesota. Are you there, Keith?
Yeah, I'm here.
You have a question I can work with, please, Keith?
Yeah, I'm just wondering how my financial situation would be with everything that's going on. I'm just wondering if it'll get better from now.
Okay, Keith, that's a very, very valid question in these very uncomfortable sort of times. And, you know, I'm sure you can appreciate you're not the only person that has this question. I think besides health, I think this is the number one question people are asking. When I'm tuning into your energy, Keith, they're showing me that there will be a couple of things here that you need to let go of or look at differently. Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to come out the other side financially okay. I'm saying that I think that it's time that we can reorganise or revisit how you spend money and look at sort of in maybe ways that we can sort of curb the spending a little bit. It's interesting because I normally would have said that you're fairly organised, that you're sort of very much usually on top of what's going on in your life. You know, you're one of those people that can mentally sort of say, oh, well, I've got to do this and that's got to be paid and whatever. And you're usually pretty right. You don't need to write it down. But at the moment, it's like I want to see it put down in paper in front of you so that you can sort of see it for what it is. It's like I need to physically look at it, touch it, feel it, own it. And then I think you'll see out of that some ways there that you can be a little bit more creative and, you know, curtail the expenditure a little bit, which will help you come out the other side faster and stronger than what you would have if you just left everything as it is. I do feel, though, Keith, that there's a couple of new possibilities here of things that are sort of going to come into your mind. I don't know that they have yet, that will help you boost your income stream as well. Now, these may not be things that you're going to take on board forever and a day, but they may be just sort of some ways that you can see now in the short term that you can increase finances coming in the door. But overall, Keith, I think you're going to be one of the more fortunate ones that's going to come out the other side a lot faster than a lot of other people because of your good management skills.
Oh, okay. That sounds good and promising. Glad to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's because you're really sort of, you know, you're looking at things honestly, Keith. You know, you're not sticking your head in the sand and saying, oh, I can't do this. You're looking at everything. You know, you're not leaving anything unturned, and you're looking at, you know, is there a way I can shave a bit off here and a bit off there, and collectively that all adds up. You know, a few cents here and a few cents there goes into dollars, and then the next thing you know, we've got $20 we've saved, and, you know, you're sort of really being very brutal with things. And that's why you will come out the other side a lot quicker, and that'll put you in a stronger position moving forward. So it was lovely to connect with you, Keith. We're going to go to Erin now in Waverly in Ohio, USA. Are you there, Erin?
I am here.
Do you have a question I can work with, sweetie?
I'm from Waverly, yes.
So what's your question, darling?
Oh, just about my jobs, I guess.
About your
where am I going with these jobs?
Okay. All right. Well, that's a very good question, Erin. I mean, jobs are situations at the moment that a lot of us, I think, are questioning, you know, are we in the right job? You know, we're lucky enough to have one, but is it what I really want moving forward? And I think this is one of the things that's coming up for a lot of people in the fact of we're all having time and being able to look at our lives under a microscope at the moment. For you, Erin, I'm just not sure that this is the right fit. I mean, at the moment, I mean, you've got to be thankful, I think, that you've got a job. And let's put it into the rightful context. I mean, for the moment, yes, it's good that you've got a job and you've got money coming in. But I think further down the track, I don't think you're going to stay in this job. I'm seeing a major decision around August, September this year, Erin, where you're really going to sort of decide whether or not it's time to sort of open the opportunities up and start looking for something else. I mean, you might have wanted to do that prior to that, but I don't know that, you know, the world will be in a place where you're in a position to be able to do that before then. But I feel by about August, it's sort of like a lot of things have settled down and you sort of feel, well, this is the time I can really sort of focus on this and decide what I want to do. Have you been contemplating doing some extra training or study, Erin?
No, not too much. There's a test online that I could take for another job. I haven't did it, and I've been putting it off. I didn't know if bartending would be the same job, or go ahead. Okay.
I think you need to look at the extra study. They were showing the extra study or training, which would put you into a much better position for another job. And that was sort of what I was going to suggest you to be looking at now in this time. You know, I think you already know the answer to the job situation. if this virus hadn't befelled the world, you would have been looking now at sort of after Easter, sort of really getting serious about a job change. But this has sort of come up.
It's just scary, I guess, for a job change.
So now we need to look at how we can handle this in the most positive way. And I think by upskilling or sort of adding to your skill set, I actually think is the right move at this point in time. Number one, it'll make the time go a little bit quicker, but it'll also clearly show you then what the new direction is that you want to take as far as work's concerned. And it may show you that the path that you thought you wanted to go on isn't quite right. You know, maybe we need to look at slightly a little bit further afield, or sort of going into something that enables you to use some different skills to maybe what you've got now, or skills that you haven't used in a long time. So I think this is actually a very exciting time, Erin, where I think you're going to really learn a lot about yourself, but learn a lot about what's going to make you happy moving forward as far as a career is concerned over the next few months. So I'd be suggesting have a pad and a pen with you at all times and jot down any peculiar thoughts or ideas or things that come into your head so that you don't forget them, so that you can, I can go back and I can look at that now. I've got that opportunity to see whether there's a course I can do online connected with that might give me, even more skills to broaden my prospects as far as a new job. Were you sort of thinking of moving residence as well, Erin?
About 4 years, I'm hoping.
I just think that's going to come a bit sooner. It's sort of like this new job to me was leading towards a change of residence as well. It's sort of like the whole thing goes hand in hand.
Okay.
I don't say exactly the same word, but what I'm saying is, with the new job, I think with, extra finances and everything like that coming in, it enables you to sort of bring forward the move a bit quicker than what you would have been able to do had you stayed in the current job. So that's why I think it's so important that we need to sort of get everything sort of happening and be really open and write down your dreams, Erin, because I'm being shown that you're going to get some really strong dreams over the next couple of months that will be some clues to your future as well, even if you don't understand them at the time. Write them down because they will be answers to the future for you, sweetie.
Okay, thank you.
You're very, very welcome. That was Erin in Waverley in Ohio. And it's really interesting because a lot of people at the moment are having some very, very strong dreams. And I think that's because we're able to sort of relax a little bit more and maybe go into a deeper sleep. And because we're not running here, there and everywhere in our very, very busy lives, that we're able to sort of take the time to go into a deeper mode of sleep and to be able to be aware of understanding or listening to the things, the cues that we're getting from the universe. And this is a very positive thing. It's interesting, though, because a lot of people are sort of finding they don't like themselves at the moment. Why can't I settle down? Why can't I do this? Why am I so restless? Why do I all of a sudden want to leave the house? And why all of a sudden would I like to take up jogging around the park when I've never been interested in it before? The answer to that is very simple. When someone says no to you that you can't do something, you all of a sudden want to do it. That's just human nature. And I know for me, I'm sort of, I'm always so busy that I don't sort of tend to think of, doing something different. It's sort of like, how many things can I squeeze into today? And I know by even myself, by being restricted of knowing that we can't leave the house other than for essential things like food and going and getting medication, that I just want to go and hop in the car and go for a really, really long drive. And it's like, oh, we're not allowed to do that. Oh, I could go and visit. Oh, no, you can't do that. You can't visit so-and-so, or you can't do this. So it's really interesting that that's how human nature works. When somebody says no to us, we want to do the exact opposite. So maybe in some ways we've got to turn around and sort of re-educate our minds to sort of be accepting of that, okay, this is the new norm for the moment. Let's get creative. Let's get the pots and pans out and start baking, and let's start creating some very interesting, different, nutritious meals. I mean, it's a time to reconnect with the basics in our life. And that's one of the things that Pluto has been asking us to do since 2008 is to get back to basics. And one of the things that I've been noticing a lot on social media is people are sharing their recipes on homemade bread and how to do this and how to do that. And I think it's wonderful. And here in Australia, I've noticed a lot of people sort of starting up web pages and social media pages talking about buying local made products and supporting your own country. And I think that's something that we could all do, is start to sort of explore how we can, coming out the other side, not be so reliant on overseas purchases and maybe start buying products produced in our own country. Let's get some industry back in our own countries and start supporting jobs locally and supporting our own economies. I think that's really important. And I think that's one of the messages that is coming so strongly out of this, is that, yes, we are a global economy, but I think we also, you know, charity begins at home is a saying I know that my grandmother used to say a lot when I was a child growing up, and I don't know that I ever quite really fully understood what she meant, but I think now I do, that charity does begin at home, that we've got to start looking after our own. We've got to start looking after the people that are in our own local environment. And by that way, I think collectively we can start to heal our own local economies and put people back in jobs and come out the other side of this COVID-19. I hope you all stay well. Make sure that you keep a positive attitude. And when you're feeling a little bit down, just go and Google or YouTube, Come On and Get Happy by the Partridge Family. And I think that will put you in a very, very positive mood if we can all sing along with the Partridge Family, Come On and Get Happy. And I think that really sort of uplifts our spirit. So until next week, bye for now. Stay safe. And don't forget, please, please, please stay home. We're all in this together. We can all do this. And we love each and every one of you. Bye for now.